Hello, today we are going to take a look at crime vocabulary. It is a common topic discussed in ESL classrooms as crimes vary from country to country. So let's take a look at crimes in Canada. There are many different kinds of crimes in Canada. Let's look at some of the most common kinds of crime. Number one is called vandalism. Vandalism involves a person destroying property. This may be painting on public or private property that does not belong to you. It could involve damaging someone's car, home, fence, etc. Although it can cost a lot of money to repair the damage, it is considered a non-violent crime. Burglary. This means a person is entering a building with the intention of stealing. They do not have permission to enter the home. They get inside with the intent of stealing items. Assault. This means physically hurting someone. It may be punching someone, kicking, biting. This may happen to a stranger. People may assault police officers. People assault their own family members. And in any case, it is never allowed and always illegal in Canada. Illegal drug use or selling illegal drugs. So as you know, marijuana is now legal. However, we still have quite a number of drugs that are illegal, and it's considered criminal to use them or to sell them. Some of those would include cocaine, meth, and heroin. Shoplifting is a very common crime, also considered non-violent. Shoplifting is stealing items from a store, generally by hiding them inside your clothes or a bag. Kidnapping, although it has the word kid in it, it can also refer to taking an adult against his or her will. And it includes taking a child that you don't have the legal custody of. Most kidnappings in Canada are perpetrated by parents who do not have legal custody of their children, but take them anyway. There are a few cases of stranger kidnappings where a stranger will take a child, and a few cases of adults taking other adults against their will. Arson. This is the word for intentionally starting a fire. There are several reasons people commit arson. Often, young people do it for fun, although of course it is a terrible idea. Others do it because they want to hurt the people inside, and therefore they try to burn the house down with the person inside. Some people are trying to commit fraud and burn down a structure in order to collect insurance money. Murder is killing someone, taking someone's life. We have several categories of murder that I may discuss in another video. First-degree murder involves the planning and killing of a person. Second-degree murder is intentional, but generally not premeditated or planned in advance. And manslaughter is unintentional killing of another person, though criminal acts have been committed in that case. For example, if a person is impaired, driving under the influence of drugs, and kills another person, it would likely be considered manslaughter. It was not intentional. The driver did not mean to kill another person, but they were committing a crime by using drugs while driving. Sexual assault, as it's more commonly referred to now, it was called rape in the past, which is forcing another person to do sexual acts with you or to you. It happens rarely, but it does happen. Strangers assaulting people that are not known to them. We also have cases of date rape. So the people are somewhat known to each other and have both consented to going out together, but one then forces himself on the other person. In Canada, it is also considered sexual assault to force your spouse, your husband or wife. Most often it is against the wife, but it could be the other way around. You cannot force your spouse to do any sexual acts against their will. Doesn't matter if you are married, no one has the right to do that. And you can be arrested if you do so. Number 10, fraud, which is another non-violent crime. Fraud is using deception to get money or goods. Sometimes it's done via computers, which we may call cybercrime. So for example, it may include hacking into someone's banking system and getting their credit card number and using it as your own, stealing someone's identity and gaining access to their bank accounts, things like that. Impaired driving means driving while under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So in Canada, a small amount of alcohol is allowed to be in your system when you drive, but it's a very small amount. And for new drivers, there is no amount that's legal. So it's best to avoid any alcohol if you're going to drive. And of course, avoid drugs altogether, but especially if you are going to drive. You can be arrested and charged for impaired driving. And if you happen to cause an accident, you could be charged with manslaughter. Number 12, terrorism is the illegal use of violence or threats, and it's usually politically or religiously motivated. So you are trying to scare or harm another group of people based on some kind of political or religious idea you have. Human trafficking. This is the trade of humans, so people, for the purpose of forced labor, which would mean forcing them to do jobs without paying them. Sexual slavery, so again, forcing them to do sexual acts for you against their will, or commercial sexual exploitation, so for money. And it's generally resulting in profit for the trafficker. So the person doing the human trafficking is generally trading, buying, selling humans to do these things and making money by doing so. And number 14, child abuse. This can include many things. Physical abuse. So in Canada, you cannot hurt your children. It is allowed to lightly slap in order to protect your child from danger. For example, if they are reaching for the stove. However, you cannot hit a child with any object, shoes, belts, sticks, no object. You cannot leave any damage on the child. If you do, that is considered child abuse. You could be arrested, or your child could be removed from your custody. Sexual abuse. You cannot have a child perform any sexual acts whatsoever. Mental abuse is consistently yelling at your child, telling him he's not good enough, he is stupid, you didn't want him in the first place, you wish he would just go away. Things like this are considered mental abuse. We also do not allow child marriage in Canada. Both males and females must be 18 years old, and both must agree. There is an exception that 16 and 17-year-olds can marry with permission of the parents. However, this would be extremely rare, and I've never heard of that happening. So certainly to try to marry off your 12 or 13-year-old would be considered illegal, and you could be arrested for trying to do so. FGM is female genital mutilation. So any form of cutting or stitching a girl's genitals is illegal. There's absolutely no need for it. It has no benefits. It causes a lot of damage. You also cannot take a child out of the country to have it done. That is also illegal. And any other practices that harm children. Okay, we are going to stop there. Please review it to become more familiar with the vocabulary. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.